attempted to teach all the subjects necessary for you to understand the world you are in and the world you shall live in the future, and to train you for all the skills required to run an immensely complicated economy and society. Our gratitude to the faculty on your behalf. We hope the future will bring the realization of all your ambitions, and remember, do what you can within the limits of your ability, but do it. Be for something, not just against everything. Be for specific positive changes in our country, not just against establishment. You're bringing the world of tomorrow ideals, visions, and art. So here's to a wonderful future. You're off to a wonderful start. Congratulations.
This thanks also comes from our parents, because they know it was our teachers who gave them some peace of mind, while at the same time we placed our teachers on the brink of insanity. For the past 4 years, we have attempted to follow the instructions and guidance of our teachers, in hopes that this day would eventually arrive. Hopefully, each of us has made a decision on which road we will now follow, to see that our hopes, dreams, and desires be fulfilled. As we follow this road, I'm sure we will reflect upon the past 4 years for strength to keep us moving toward a life of success, peace, health, and happiness. In closing, thank you for joining us on this special evening, which is our first step to a successful future. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. At this time, we'll have an orchestra selection, the Dance of the Comedians, conducted by Denise Neapolitan. orchestra. Denise, I'm thinking of the next speaker. The commencement speakers at this time will be Deanna Cece, her speech will be a Buck Rogers reality. Deanna?
I see Mark now.
Welcome to our graduation, the class of 1982. We've been prepared, pre-measured, pre-fitted, preconditioned, hand-perturbed, but we survived it all, even that last week of English. I must say that even my last day as a freshman didn't feel this good, and so here we are. But that's what high school is all about, preparing us to leave that protected bubble where family and teachers were always there to guide us. But will the departure be that easy for us? This world's technology is racing so fast, twice as fast as we raced from the showers to our lockers on that first day of gym. Are the things we're learning going to be obsolete in the world we'll be coping with? For instance, in psychology, we're taught to accept ourselves for what we are, make the most of our shortcomings. Psychology tells us it's all right to be shy or intelligent or short. Simply adjust to it. When you're short, you recognize the basketball team by their kneecaps. But then again, when a teacher arranges your class in order of size, you'll always be in the front. So you take it in stride, rationalizing that everyone will have their shortcomings. Then you proceed to biology, which informs you that your children will never have to cope with the problems you face, because through careful genetic research, the gene for shortness will be exterminated during your generation. My whole family will be wiped out, but no matter. Next, you go to chemistry and learn that you'll never even have to worry about having children, because the world is going to be nuked to smithers long before that. Auto mechanics will be a defunct class. The world we'll be living in will be like a prehistoric version of a Buck Rogers novel, and cars will be left to nostalgia. Look at all the guys smiling, no more women drivers. But the girls are smiling too. No more pitching in gas money on low-budget dates. Home economics will be the popular course, though in the era to come, it will be known as efficient operation of the home terminal. But take heart, graduates. Some aspects of our society will never vanish with the Buck Rogers reality. Remember that chubby freshman with the downward glance and the freckles, who more than anything wanted to find friends she could love? Well, she's grown up now, said goodbye to hot fudge sundaes, and can look you in the eye and smile all the while. I don't know anything that can be done about freckles, but even she found her niche at Morton, and friends who she'll always remember and cherish. The outcast of tomorrow may be different. A kid in shabby old topsiders, wearing one of Dad's moth-eaten Izod sweaters, on top of a pair of jeans made by someone named Calvin Klein. He's the lonely one, with the Hewlett-Packard calculator that only stores 5,000 programs. But accept him as a friend, as an individual. Make the generation to come your genetically perfect children, humane enough to look beyond the programs, the microdiscs, and the stalling terminals of the computer world, and compassionate enough to seek the person in front of the display screen. Our individual personalities are the one aspect of society that no command input can ever erase. Some say the world of tomorrow will be so complicated, but it is only we, the class of 1982, that will make it so. So for now, think of the good and the easy things, because as someone much wiser than I once said, We're pulling out of here to win. Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you, Deanna. The next speaker will be David Koselancic, and he will speak on individualism and society. Dave?
The idea of the individual is popular in today's society. If someone is confronted with a personal problem, he is urged to get in touch with his feelings and to work things out for himself. Things increasingly revert to the singular. Individualized portions for meals, individually wrapped articles, personal computers, even personal driving machines. We champion the cause of the individual, his freedoms, his rights, and to a greater extent today, his responsibilities. Given these areas, the individual realizes that he has the materials with which to make something of himself. Our country is a selfish nation, not in a collective sense, but in an individual one. The principles of social Darwinism, something we've all learned about in American history, attempt to describe man's climb to the pinnacle of success. Looking out for number one is the rule of the game. There are presently more than 4 billion number ones. Who's on top? I don't know. This is an evening when all of our hopes and dreams are one step closer to being realized. We all see the horizon glimmering with the satisfaction and goals we seek. It beckons ever more strongly this evening. I'm certain that everyone has assessed his future and has begun coordinating his plans, individual hopes. But what of our collective society and its goals? Society is a frail artifact, something that crumbles at the touch, that shrinks at close examination, and that tarnishes more with every passing day. Is one group responsible for this destruction, this pollution? I think not. We must all bear the burden. Society must be cared for constantly by each person alone, and likewise supported by our collective strength. So who determines when we are becoming too engrossed in ourselves, the individual?